The importance of influence by parents' internal states on their future child's configuration.
Я вам скажу, что каждый человек, вернее, не так, каждая стереоформа
Every stereoform or pharmacopy represents combination and all multitude of directions possible for the whole humanity,
направлений, возможных для всего человечества. Начиная от
beginning from protoformal and finishing with the most qualitative bioplasmic forms.
практически биоплазменными проявлениями. Каждая из формокопий. Что это значит? Это значит,
What does it mean?
что в структуре стереоформы существуют такие личности,
That means there are the personalities of your parents in your stereoform's structure, who could give you the very best features. By this means they modified the very best opportunities for your further development.
возможности для дальнейшего развития. Есть такие личности, которые
There are the personalities who have something from above and from bottom. Then they gave you all they had.
не имели сами. Есть такие из личностей ваших родителей, которые
There are some of your parents' personalities who gave you what they had but nothing good.
сами, то есть ничего хорошего. И в таких условиях
In those conditions, DNA conditions, you had to start your development.
свое развитие. Все это происходит
It all occurs within one stereoform. So a man is born.
рождается
You see that the man is born in this forma system.
от того, что вы видите, что
But nothing depends on this fact. It doesn't matter.
в системе еще ничего не
Everything depends on which direction you refocus in from the moment of the man's birth.
вы после рождения этого человека перефокусироваться. Если
If you create the most favorable conditions for your future child's development,
условия для развития
so everything will be all right with him or her,
можно создать только
how may such opportunities be created?
выбором.
It is possible only by making the most positive choices. Positive choices are not only such as motivating you, everything for a child. Positive choices are those which are harmonious mostly inside of you, and which create the highest degree of harmony with yourselves and the surrounding world simultaneously.
И если это связано для ребенка с какими-то
If it facilitates some deprivations or movements in a child's life, it doesn't mean that you fix the worst prospect for his or her development in the future.
какие-то худшие перспективы его развития в будущем. Самое важное,
The most important thing is internal states in which we make choices.
так вот, есть возможность у каждой мамы родить.
Now, then, every mother has the opportunity to give birth to a normal child as well as to a monster.
Понимание, что это проявление определенного уже количества
Meaning that the latter is the performance of definite amount of protoformal features of other collective intelligences inside the nouveau form, our current human form.
человеческой. Это может проявиться на уровне
The diffusent form of development or human. Ugliness might perform on the level of imbecile or moron, on the level of some complex illnesses. The latter seem frightening in our view, and they don't give the opportunity for an ill person to develop normally like a human.
нормально как человеку. Но это существует.
That exists only in your scenarios.
Когда начинаешь разбирать
When you start to look through the further scenarios, where, what, and how,
и видишь, как у этой же самой
you see that the same parent's personality gave birth to a more normal child in other scenarios of the parent's development. You start to study her or him, and there he is quite more normal, too.
Что значит более нормальное?
What does more normal mean? He is more balanced, purposeful for some her life goals, more developed physically, more intellectual, and so forth.
Более интеллектуально развитое, более то, более то, более то.
Here it is. There, parents gave birth to a more normal child. I go on looking through further.
А дальше?
What does further mean?
То есть с позиции
That means looking through more qualitative variants. Further, I see even more qualitative personality within the same stereo form. That personality gives birth to even more qualitative child.
качественный ребенок.
Have you caught it?
Я к чему говорю, что
I mean that every moment of time, all variants of a child are born in various scenarios. There is a wide choice of opportunities,
все возможности, начиная
beginning from the very original proto-formal refocusings into nouveau forms.
от формных перефокусировок в новую форму. Дальше на
Then, on the peak or apogee, there are the most qualitative refocusings in the real human directions,
фокусировки в человеческом направлении. Там, где
where fathers and mothers' personalities correspond to this potential of qualitativeness.
потенциалу. И дальше
Then all this descends to the opportunities for refocusings, to the next protoforms, then to the next ones.
протоформы, в другие протоформы. То есть идет сначала момент, опять-таки это субъективно,
Again, although it's very subjectively, there is a moment of entry of any protoform and any pharmacopies of other forms
в структуру самосознания личности из других,
from the animal kingdom to self-consciousness structure. The influence proceeds,
и начинают рождаться
and disabled children begin to be born, to a little extent capable for living in the human form, for the human existence.
для человеческого существования. Дальше по мере повышения
Then, the amount of the opportunities for surviving in the human forms raises with the increasing qualitativeness of personalities who take part in preconception and impregnation.
повышаются.
The amount of opportunities raises to the maximal extent when both of personalities are harmonized with each other, with themselves in particular, and with the world around.
А это можно
It is possible to say in such states only on the basis of the very high quality information.
состояниях пребывать, то идет
The maximum extent of formation, the configuration of the future child takes place, because parents give the child only the best of them.
в ребенка все только лучшее, все то, что им уже не свойственно.
All that is not inherent to them yet, all the Svul-Vu copies and the lowest of Lud-Vu copies, is cut off from the self-consciousness to the most extent,
Отсечены из самосознания. То есть
meaning their copies' karmic channels are present in configuration of Nuvu form, but they aren't activated.
поэтому в ДНК не проявляется
That's why the form of creative activity, which is inherent to persons of the same fathers and mothers in other scenarios, doesn't appear in DNA in this scenario.
с
And the child is born with a powerful creative potential for progression on this energy informational basis,
с этой базы энергоинформационной. Без
without appearance of tensors from low-quality forma creators.